About the spinning circle.
This is a Huddle Sports Network
An
broadcast.
error
You can
occurred.
find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good evening and welcome to another Wednesday edition of Halas Hall. With me, of course, we have Woody. Good evening, Woody.
Good evening. I'm off the roof today.
Yeah, same here. And while Woody and I are two guys that really don't have an opinion, one guy who often does have opinions, actually not on the roof today working, we got Mike the Bear Fam doing his producer thing today. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, fellas.
And whoa, we've heard his voice on a Wednesday, Woody. Holy crap. It happened. Whoa. Okay, let us think in. Okay. So you may notice the difference. We are back on StreamYard. Restream just, was not streaming enough. Too many darn issues. So your comments they'll still go up. We'll just have to put them up manually. But we're making the transition back. So welcome back to Halas Hall from StreamYard Studios versus Restream Studios. But we got some things to talk about, man. Coaches. We're interviewing everyone. I'll bring this up real quick. Mike's doing some stuff in the back, but here is a list of a lot of people. So not all of them. This is not all of them. This is some of the names on the list. Because we're missing a few there. So you got Thomas Brown, Ron Rivera, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, Mike Kafka, Pete Carrol, Anthony Weaver, Drew Petrig, Vrabel we interviewed, but now he's the head coach in New England. McCarthy now, Arthur Smith. That one was announced, yesterday? And that's not even the full list, man.
It's like an unemployment line.
So, what do you think, though? Like, Woody, are you okay with them interview? I think it's like 16. Is it 16 is the full list? I mean, too much, too little, just right? Where do you sit with that?
I think keep going. Find the perfect guy, because we haven't had the guy since probably Lovie Smith got fired in his 10-6 season. So interview as much as possible, see who has the right fit.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see it as an issue to interview all these guys. I mean, they say, this is round one. There'll probably be 2 rounds, maybe a third. I don't know. But, interview as many guys as you can and learn as much as you can about them. And maybe one that you weren't thinking like, oh, yeah, Mike could never be the coach. And next thing you know, he comes in and just floors it and says some things you're like, whoa, I would have never thought of that. So I have no problem with them interviewing 16 guys. And also I think it kind of masks your intentions a little bit too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think there's enough coaches out there that, we can interview, and, no college. Stick with the pros. We don't want to start.
We asked to interview the guy from Notre Dame,
Uh-huh.
the guy from Texas, and there was another college coach that got interviewed or is going to get interviewed.
It's amazing. He just signed his extension too, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think he's rebuffing the advances of the NFL team, saying, I just signed an extension, I'm happy. I think he told them all no. What does Rob say? All right, Rob thinks we're going to end up with Pete Carrol. Yeah, I mean, well, we can get into that a little bit. I mean, I've got a list. I don't know. Woody, do you have someone that is your guy right now that you want?
No surprise. I want to see how about Joe Brady, Kellen Moore, maybe offensive minded coaches. I'm up in the air with the defensive minded. I'm not really sure.
Well, you know, this guy became available.
Uh huh.
So we got some people who are split. Hey, good evening, Matt. We're back to the old format, eh? Some people are split. Um, Before I show too much about them, what do you think about McCarthy in Chicago?
I wasn't too sure about that, but we'll see about the next.
I mean, this.
Yeah, everybody wants Tomlin and nobody wants McCarthy. But if you look at the comparison between the two, that all the Chicago Bears fans, if Pittsburgh releases them or whatever, look at his record, playoff record, division titles compared to McCarthy. Same seasons, same how playoff appearances. McCarthy has one more division title, and he has 3 more wins on the playoffs.
Both have won Super Bowls.
Yeah, am I against it? No, because it's better than what we did have, but I don't know.
You know, the Packer fans have been downplaying this one a lot. They're like, well, you know, he'll be good for a year or two, and then he'll slough off. They've been downselling McCarthy a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Packer fans have. Which is interesting for a guy that won you your last Super Bowl, that you would downplay him so much. I would not be upset with them. Look at that. That's like you said, Willie, there's so many guys that the OC in Tampa, he's another one, Matt. Matt says the OC in Tampa. I mean, there are some. Let me bring this partial list up. I mean, you've got, look at McCarthy. He's been a coach of the year. He's won a Super Bowl, right? Pete Carroll has won a Super Bowl, been coach of the year. Ron Rivera's been to a Super Bowl as a coach and was coach of the year. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, everyone knows, you know, about them right now. I think either of them are good choices. And then you've got the OCs that we've talked, those other OCs we've talked about. And then really, or maybe we're going to, no, yeah, he just moved on me. You got this guy, another former head coach. I like how ESPN predicts Vikings DC Brian Flores to be Bears' next head coach. Mind you, he hasn't interviewed yet. That's okay.
No, head coach, Matt.
Yeah, Saturday. He interviewed Saturday. That was announced today. I mean, Flores, a good coach. So if you want to think about it, there's a few people. Woody's going to be our OC. There's what? The jobs that are still open are what? Chicago, Vegas, New York, Dallas,
New Orleans,
Jackson. Right? I got Nola, right?
I didn't hear you say Nola.
All right, Jets. We'll just do it coast over. So Jets, Jaguars, Bears, Cowboys, Raiders. 5 jobs that are open. Yeah, I said that with Saints.
Oh, okay.
So 5 jobs that are open. We're going to get a good coach. I mean, with this coach, I haven't seen a coaching class this good probably ever of available head coaches. All right. Saints, we'll do it this way. Saints, Jacksonville, New York Jets, Chicago Bears, Vegas Raiders, Dallas Cowboys. That's right, 6. Okay, 6. And Dallas asked, Jerry Jones called up Dion Dion gave a very politically nice response, which doesn't say no but doesn't say yes. So 6 jobs. The Bears are going to get a good head coach. It might not be Pete Carroll. It might not be some of the guys we think it is. But I mean, if you look at the guys that are out there, it might not be McCarthy. It might not be Ben Johnson. It could be Aaron Glenn would be a good one. Flores would still be a good one. I mean, is there anyone on the list that you see where you were like, oh hell no?
Well, I did say Mike McCarthy. Okay, you put the list back up.
Yeah, this is the partial list. This isn't a full list, of course.
Drew, no. Anthony Weaver, no. Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith would have been my hell no.
Yeah, his last head coaching job was what? The Falcons?
Atlanta? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was okay there, but he wasn't great. Jags and Bears are the best of the worst in terms of job attractions. I don't think you could say I'm not buying Dion in Dallas. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, Dion and Jerry, but they'll make a lot of money.
Dion's
with
going
the
to go
Bears
where it's
being
going to go.
The Bears aren't necessarily a terrible team. They just had bad coaching. That's a great situation. The Bears are a good situation to come to if you're a head coach. I wouldn't be mad with Rivera. I wouldn't be mad with Glenn or Johnson or Carroll, McCarthy, Kingsbury. We didn't even mention him yet.
No. And there's no word on Doug Peterson yet either.
And then there's Peterson. Is he even interviewing for jobs?
I didn't even hear him interviewing.
Robert Saleh has got some interviews coming up.
Yep.
Because people are starting to realize it wasn't him; it was the Jets. Eberflus got a DC interview in Cincinnati, I want to say.
Yep.
He'll get a job. I mean, a lot of interviews. There are some fans who are just a little, I was saying before the show, Broski this morning was all upset. Hey, Woody, how about your boy James Franklin?
Oh, my God. Anyway. My God.
Broski, I wish Broski was on with us right now. Broski was upset this morning. Woody, Broski is mad. And Broski doesn't get mad often.
Like me, yeah.
He's mad because we haven't signed anyone yet, and he thinks we're interviewing way too many people, and that means that we have no plan or idea or have any kind of clue on how to get a head coach.
Well, say if we decide we can't sign Ben Johnson to a head coaching job right now. We only can interview him.
Right.
So we got to wait till the Super Bowl is over with to hire. If we're going to wait for everybody, in-person interviews, not only the virtual. Penn State.
Oh, wait. John Dorn with some news. The New York Jets have requested to interview Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley for their head coaching job. And if you look at the job he did in Green Bay with their defense, taking the 25th to 5th, after he was a college head coach last year, came in as a DC. Yeah, and the Bears, we interviewed their OC for some reason, because he doesn't call any plays there in Green Bay. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind I don't mind interviewing all these guys on 2-hour Zoom calls. Like, they're doing 2 calls a day. I mean, you're not overwhelming them with information.
And I don't know all the links I heard today on Facebook and stuff that Ben Johnson is linked to the Raider job.
Oh, Ben Johnson, man, pick your day. Yesterday, I've seen him linked to the Raider job. I've seen him linked to NOLA. I think the Jaguars think he's already the head coach, by some of the articles I've read. I mean, pick a city and Ben Johnson is going to be the head coach there next year, it seems. Even Dallas, I saw one for Dallas, surprisingly. I'm like, there's no way he goes to Dallas. I mean, everywhere. I get it though with the digital media, man. You can write a story. Like, what do you think? Let me do it. I'll put it this way, Woody. Here's what you do if you want to be a media writer for the NFL. Now, you ready? But this is going to be me as a head coach accepting my position. I like to thank the ownership of insert team name here for graciously offering a job, and the GM insert name here for guiding me through the process and interview. The insert team here has a great lineage and honor, and I'm honored to be a part of insert team name here, traditions and values, and look to bring insert city name here a championship. Now you take that as
insert. That's a lot of inserting, Ken.
It's just boilerplate. So now you write these articles. Ben Johnson is the odds-on. The insert team name here is the odds-on favorite to get Ben Johnson because insert reason. I mean, and they do it for that's all you do for every team, and then you release it in that media market because, as you know, it's all targeted by your zip code. You log on in Jacksonville, you're going to get all these articles about Ben Johnson.
It's just funny how every coach out there, if there's a coaching vacancy available, everybody I'm thinking was linked to Chicago job. Like I heard everybody except for Doug Peterson. Everybody. Yeah. And Matt, I don't want Aaron Glenn either. That was my other hell no.
Hey, you know what that means, Woody, don't you?
What?
Who's not linked to the Bears?
Who's not linked to the Bears? I give up.
You just said it.
Aaron Glenn.
No. Peterson. No one's linked him to the Bears, which means guess what?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah. What do you think, Mike? Who do you want to be a coach?
Yeah, Mike. You're here today on a Wednesday night. Let's hear from you.
He's sharing still probably. But yeah, Broski's behalf and stuff. I know it's frustrating because we haven't had a coach in years, but we can't just rush this. Seems like we rushed our last couple of head coaching people like John Fox, Trestman, Nagy. It hasn't worked out, so that's why they want to take their time.
But you know what, though, Woody? Let's go back. When Trestman got here, were we mad about it? I mean, he did great things in the CFL. Everyone's like, wow, he just won the Grey Cup in CFL. He's won a lot of championships up there. He's a good coach. Fans were like, okay, I'm excited. And then it didn't go so well. John Fox, last two, I remember when he came here. Well, the last two franchises he went to, he turned around and made them perennial playoff teams that went to Super Bowls. Okay, worst coach in Bears history. Nagy. He comes here, does nothing but win Coach of the Year. We win the division, go to the playoffs, lose on a double doink to the Eagles of all teams, and then the next 2 years are shit. Oh my God, he was such a terrible coach. Okay, Eberflus. Wasn't a lot of fanfare, but people weren't mad either. The defense went from one of the worst to one of the best, and he couldn't win anything to save his life because he had bad offensive coordinators. I mean,
and that's my point. We got to take our time. We can't rush this. That's why we're probably interviewing 25 people.
Well, that's probably part of it too. Instead of having a committee, that's another change. But I mean, 3 of the last 4 2 of the 4 had great lineages when they came here. John Fox. I mean, no one was upset about John Fox coming to Chicago when he got here. No one was upset with John Fox when he, no one said, "Oh my God, we hired John Fox. What a bum." Trestman was like, some people are like, well, there's some skeptical a little bit, like, well, yeah, he won Grey Cups in the CFL, but how's that going to translate to the NFL? Well, we found out not so good.
That's what I mean about the college coaches.
Yeah,
like I said, Pete Carroll's probably the only one that really worked out.
He's one of 4. Only 4 coaches have ever won an NCAA championship and an NFL Lombardi.
Well, I mean, not even just winning an NCAA championship. I mean, just regardless. anybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look at Saban, didn't work out. Chip Kelly didn't work out. You know, so stick to the NFL.
Yep. I can't think of many. Well, one that did make the jump, Jimmy Johnson.
And
But
you know, I did want Jim Harbaugh, obviously, because he's my favorite Bears quarterback of all time. But and we'll see. I mean, he had a surprising Chargers team this year they lost everybody, even though they got hammered, you know, in the playoffs. They got there.
They kept their defense intact and tried to rebuild all the offensive weapons around their quarterback and part of their line. They didn't do bad, man. I mean,
Nope.
I don't think we're gonna be unhappy with the coaching decision. I mean, there are too many good choices for us not to find good in whoever we hire. Now, if it's like like the guy from New York, the OC from New York, whatever his name was, I mean, okay, I might go, Ryan, are you okay? This is his first actual head coach search process. Last number, you know, people go, oh, well, he should be fired because he hired Eberflus. No, he didn't. They said, welcome, you're now the new GM. Here are 3 pre-selected names we've given you for head coach. Pick one. Oh, by the way, you don't get to interview them.
Yeah.
Here's some resource material that we provided for you, and we really like this guy.
But do you really think any of these organizations? Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm glad I'm the whole show. But do you think really organizations say, no, I'm not going to interview you. No, I'm not going to do this. Nah, I'll pass on you. I can't really see that.
What do you mean?
Like say if the guy from New York, offensive coordinator, or we'll take the Arizona coordinator, Drew. Hey,
Okay.
Ryan, you mind if I'm looking to get a head coaching job next year. Do you mind if I have an interview? You think Ryan Poles will say, nah, we're going to pass on you? Or just interview him anyway to see how it goes?
Well, I mean, no, but we asked for the interview.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, do you think that?
But you know what, though? I look at it as Ryan getting information like, let's say you're the guy from Arizona, and I ask you, so how would you handle Caleb? And you give me your answer. I'm like, okay, now how would you handle this, that? I would say overall, you don't do bad. It's getting you experience, right, interviewing. I'm learning a little about you, but I'm like, yeah, Woody's not going to be our guy, dude. We need to go find another one. But you said something that clicked in my head, and I tell the coach, hey, when we interviewed Woody, he actually had a good idea about Caleb you might want to consider.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think some of it is they're giving a guy an opportunity who they feel might be deserving, but maybe say, well, I don't think the guy's ready, but let's at least give him an opportunity to interview. And then the guy from New York, I mean, he's from Northwestern. I get it, hometown guy. Hey, there's Broski. We were just talking about you, about how you don't like all the interviews we're doing. I think that's part of that. Like, and then they just glean information. And now look you just talked to the offensive coordinator of the Giants. If you play the Giants next year, you've got a little insight about how he thinks, how he operates, that you can then relay that information to your coaching staff.
And we can play him next year.
Yeah, exactly.
At home.
It's with an A, not an O, Broski, but just saying.
Like I said, Broski, before, I understand where you're coming from. It's frustrating. But our last 4 or 5 coaches, 1, 2, 3, sucked. So I respect on what they're doing to find the right guy. I know it's frustrating. We got to wait. Yes, I know. But with these teams in the playoffs and going in the Super Bowl, we can't really interview them one-on-one. We got to do a virtual. So we got to wait to make our decision till after probably the Super Bowl.
Supercat says her order is Pete Carroll, then Kingsbury, then Ben, then McCarthy.
Oh boy.
That's her order. And like, yeah, I get, and Broski, I kind of get what you're saying too, but it's like I said this morning, like, if let's say Ben's your guy, right? Like, if you don't interview anyone else, you've tipped your hand, and now other teams will try to mess with you a little bit. Before I get to that comment, bring that comment up in a minute, Broski. But then, like, Woody, the one thing you said, the last 4 coaches sucked. I think Nagy, we can say, was only maybe a third suck or 2/3 suck, because his first season he was NFL coach of the year. He did win the division. He did take the team to playoffs. Actually, took the team to playoffs twice, right? So he wasn't exactly horrendous, but he wasn't great either. Broski says, yeah, but Woody, Eberflush was hired because the Bears took too long to make a decision. He was who they settled with.
Well, I think that was lack of options at that time. That's what my opinion on the Eberflus hiring.
And the other thing with Eberflus, though, too, is we were looking for a GM, and I think they wanted to hire the GM before they hired the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, that was the difference last time. We were looking for a GM and a coach. The whole organization was in disarray. We're not in disarray so much this time. The GM is looking for the coach. One coach has come off the board and, like, dude, there was no way anyone was getting Vrabel once that job opened up. Everyone knew it. Robert brings up the Rooney Rule, right? Which is probably the worst rule ever. Does the Rooney Rule come into effect, though, if you hire your interim?
I don't know.
Last year, did the Raiders have to interview at least 2 other people before they hired AP?
I don't know. Was it if they did, it wasn't said.
Yeah, I don't know if but Woody was a lack of options because he waited too long. I compared it to the draft. You target the guy you want, you get that guy. So Broski, let me go back to the argument then this morning. What if your guy's Ben Johnson? Why wouldn't you interview other people while you're waiting on Ben Johnson to become available?
Yeah, it won't hurt.
Because, like, if Ben Johnson's my guy, right, and I think they know who their top guys are, right, and there's going to be some change. Like, McCarthy becoming available probably changed the site picture a little bit. But if, let's say, Ben Johnson's your top guy, he's your 1A, dude, you can't hire him until Monday when the Lions get eliminated from the Super Bowl this week or from the playoffs this weekend.
Don't say that. Oh, my God.
Or after the Super Bowl, if they happen to make it all the way to the Super Bowl. You can't hire Ben Johnson right now anyway, so why not interview people in the interim and gather ideas and information about people?
And Joe Brady, too, in Buffalo. Never know. Yeah.
Pick their brains. Maybe one of them will give you a nugget that you can utilize down the road. All right, see. The Rooney Rule is why the Pats list was 4 interviews. They had to do Ben as a must, then 2 token. Yeah, Vrabel is obvious. Everyone knew. I think the Rooney Rule probably needs to go away. It really does. Well, that's why they're interviewing other people. But look, if they interview McCarthy, it's Saturday, right?
No,
what day is McCarthy? Today. So they interviewed McCarthy today. And if they decide McCarthy's a guy, they might just hire him tomorrow. But if it's between McCarthy, Ben Johnson, Pete Carrol, they might want to do another round next week with those 3 guys to make up their mind. I mean, I get what you're saying, but if they're guys, like, I know you don't like Ben Johnson. You're not a huge Ben Johnson guy. But there are a lot of Bears fans who are massive, like Ben Johnson or bust. I mean,
I don't know why. They're not going to bring the offensive line with them.
I agree.
I want somebody that can groom a quarterback. Again, I'll say it again. Joe Brady, what he did with Josh Allen, phenomenal job.
And if you're going to take him, you can't hire him anyways because, well, guess what? They're still in the playoffs.
Yep.
The Rooney, they've cleared the Rooney Rule by now. Like I said, the Rooney Rule just needs to go away. We're past the point of anyone caring. Now it's more of a hindrance than a help. In fact, you could almost say it's reverse discrimination because I could interview a black head coaching candidate and not have to hire anyone else. So the white guy doesn't get the same treatment where he gets guaranteed an interview before a coach is hired, unlike the black guy or Hispanic guy. I'm just saying that rule probably needs to go away.
Right.
So, yeah, you can't hire Joe Brady right now though.
That's right.
I mean, so Broski, why not? If Joe Brady's your guy and not Ben Johnson, and guess what? If Joe Brady and Ben Johnson are both in your top 3 and they go to the Super Bowl, you can't hire either of them to the Super Bowl is over anyways. So what are you going to do between now and then? And the thing is, the Bears aren't the only team linked to these guys. If you believe the linkage, which I don't. I don't believe 99% of these articles linking a certain coach to a certain team.
And I'm happy with that, Broski. That's what I was saying with Joe Brady. Ben Johnson, I don't know.
See, one of you likes, I mean, look, there's another, I said this earlier. Broski's in rapid fire. I'm trying to keep up with Broski.
Oh, so Joe Brady's not ready to be a head coach. Okay, so you don't.
Or Ben Johnson. He doesn't think either of them are. But Broski, let me bring you this because you missed it. I bring you Exhibit A. Okay, on this list, Ron Rivera, Pete Carroll, Mike McCarthy. Those are 3 guys who have been to Super Bowls, have been coaches of the year. Right? There are 6 teams looking for jobs. Mike McCarthy, you can forget about the Cowboys. He ain't going there because he just left there. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. I mean, that's to say there's 5, 6, 7 really good coaches on here. You're going to end up with a pretty good coach. It's not like there's 6 teams going for one guy and one guy only. You're going to still end up with a good coach. McCarthy, Carroll, Peterson, Gruden, Rivera's looking for a head coach job. There's 5 guys right there.
See, we have no. Everybody has Pete Carroll, but we don't even have an interview set up for him.
We already interviewed him.
Oh, when was that? A couple days ago?
Last week.
Last week.
Or early this week. No, it was last week.
All right.
See, like, and Robert's big on Pete Carroll. So that's what I'm saying with Bears fans. Like, you got some guys are really high on Pete Carroll. Some guys are really high on Ben Johnson. Some guys are really high on Joe Brady. Some guys are losing their minds over the idea of getting McCarthy. That's what makes us frustrating, is there's no consensus. Yeah, he was like in the first 1 or 2 or 3 interviews.
All right.
I mean, if you talk to Bears fans, man, there's a huge contingent of Ben Johnson. But then that started to fracture. And now you've got, Robert wants Carroll. Broski wants McCarthy. Right? That's pretty obvious. You like Joe Brady. I'm like, I can take any one of those guys. I'll be happy. I'd even be happy with Ron Rivera. Because for as long as he's been in the league, he's gotten good production out of quarterbacks. Heineke, he got great play out of Heineke in Washington. And who the hell was Heineke? You know what I'm saying? So he hires good. He hires good coaches. So I mean, I don't think it's that doomy and gloomy. There we go.
Wow.
Well, there goes the wheelchair being put away for good. The wife is a waddler now after the hip replacement surgery.
Yeah, I can't wait till I have to get mine.
What now? Yeah, until they do her knee. We keep the stuff because then she's going to get a knee surgery later. But no, I mean, there's no consensus. Like, maybe we'll put a poll up on Mike the Bear fan. Who do you want? And watch, it'll be all over the place. It will be all over the place. There's no consensus. So, I think that's the other thing. The fan base doesn't have a consensus. I mean, I can understand why Poles is interviewing all these people. And then the one thing you won't be able to say is Poles in, exhausts everything, turning over every rock. He's looking everywhere for the right fit. And Broski, I think like if he thinks he's got his fit, and if it's not Ben Johnson, let's say the fit is Mike McCarthy after the interview. I don't think Poles would hesitate to sign him right away. He's
Only
got a
time will
point.
tell.
How many first time head coaches have hired experienced NFL OCs or DCs?
What was that question?
Okay, because Broski's saying if they hire a first time head coach, then the OC and the DC will most likely be a first time coordinator, and he doesn't like that. So the question is, Yoli! Oh, look at Huddle Top Fan Yoli. Hello, Yoli. So the question is, what first time, like, is there, can you think of any first time head coaches who had experienced coordinators? Vic Fangio was in Miami when, what's his name, took over. Because remember, he left Miami to go to the Eagles.
Right.
So that's one. Who was the DC for Nagy?
Spagnuolo.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean there's another. Doing well, Yoli. We're talking about all the plethora of coaching decisions we have to make.
Hello, Yoli.
Oh, look, I get ignored. She says hi to Mike and Woody and just forgets about me. She forgot about Dre, I tell you.
Forgot about Trey. Forget about Snoop.
She sees you every day.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
But I mean, I get Broski's argument. He's not wrong. Overall, I think he's probably right about first-time OCs and DCs. But these guys aren't. But it's not like, these are guys who are still on coaching staffs. Hello, Yodi.
All right, that's enough.
I mean, I get his argument. I mean, look, he wants McCarthy signed. I think a lot of people want McCarthy just signed. Would you be mad if they came out tomorrow and signed McCarthy?
I wouldn't be mad, but I'd be like, there's maybe better coaches out there that we could be trying to go after as well. Because you got to think the first time head coach, whatever, they got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? I know some coordinators should stay coordinators, but we won't know that till they try.
Yeah, Yoli goes, have you seen my name? Because she gave herself her own title.
Oh my Lord.
Huddle Top Fan Yoli.
Because look at John Fox when we hired him. He was a head coach before. He did shitty. Mike Martz.
Right.
He was at the Rams, had a great team, correct?
Yeah, then he came to be Lovey's OC and was crap.
Yeah, so they got to start somewhere. Start them young.
I mean, on the flip side,
Brian Flores, we're interviewing him Saturday. He ruined Tua.
Or did Tua ruin him?
No. I don't think the players ever ruin the coaches, but that's just me.
Oh, yeah, Broski. Yoli, meet Broski, your competition.
Yeah, she's a Packer. Hey, Broski, she's a Packer fan, and all her brothers are Bears fans.
And all her work and all the people she works with are Bears fans. So she's like an island unto herself. Yeah.
I'll say same as Harbaugh in L.A. L.A. was supposed to be a trash team with all the people they lost. But could they have a bad sophomore slump? You never know.
I mean, well, look at the Detroit situation. First time head coach, first time offensive coordinator. Yep. It can work. Brian, look, this is how good Broski is. He attributes the quote to himself.
Yeah.
Broski wants people to propagate that out there and attribute the quote to him. As said by Broski Bear during the Huddle Sports Network Halas Hall report, Brian Flores is just Justin Fields of head coach candidates. And now when you get community noted on X, you've got your source material for saying it. Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's Robert. That was how many years ago?
Yeah, when he went the first time he went to the Niners. Yeah, he came from Stanford, first time head coach, and he had a bunch of first timers on the staff.
Right.
I mean, there's some validity to Broski's argument, but then you can find instances where it's not true. So I get his I don't want to say I get his hesitation with a first time head coach because I share some of that as well. That was my biggest knock, like why I didn't want Ben Johnson. Like he's a first time head coach coming from an unproven coaching tree. Who the hell is his defensive coordinator going to be? Because it's not like he can bring Aaron Glenn with him. You know, I mean, what's his staff going to look like? Can the guy run an organization? You know, he could have been a head coach last year, but he dodged it. You know, so he dodged head coaching positions last year for the excuse of, I want to run it back and win a championship with this team. And some people say it's because, oh, no, he really wanted the Chicago job. But, I mean, I get the argument. I see, that's where I agree with Broski. I can sit there and put myself in Broski's shoes and 100% agree with everything he's saying. And then I turn around and say, but Matt LaFleur.
Yep. Did a hell of a job with Green Bay.
But Dan Campbell.
Yep.
But what's his name down there?
McConnell for Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. McConnell for Minnesota. Yeah, it's another one, yeah. For McDaniel in Miami.
Yep.
I mean, and just because they're a first-time head coach doesn't mean they can't pull an experienced OC or DC with them. What if you get Ben Johnson, but Rivera doesn't get offered a head coaching gig and goes, "Hey, Ron, what you want to come be my DC in Chicago? Hey, Robert Saleh, you didn't get a job offer. You want to come be my DC in Chicago?" That could happen. I don't know, Mike. What do you got? You got anything else for us, Mike? Or are we beating this coaching thing like a dead horse?
What are some of the other slides we got?
That's all I was going to ask Mike, see what he wants to bring up. Oh, we can bring this one up. Who saw Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yep.
Like, okay, everyone knew Neighbors would be good, right? He was one of the big three. So remember, in the draft, the big three were Neighbors, Harrison, and Odunze. Everyone thought Harrison Jr. was going to have the season. Okay, yep. And it turns out the guy with the season, Brian Thomas Jr. Who the hell talked about Brian Thomas Jr. coming out of the draft? We knew Brock Bowers would be good. We knew Brock Bowers would be good.
I said he'd be the rookie of the year.
Right. And he still might be. Or Ladd McConkey. Who the hell was talking about Ladd McConkey?
Hey, find this out for me. Is that Phil McConkey's kid?
Ooh, that's a good question for Mike, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, Broski. So, I mean, it could happen. I mean, that might not happen, but in that particular example I gave, but he could pull an experienced DC with him. That is a good question. Is Ladd McConkey
related to Phil McConkey for the Giants?
I'm looking it up.
Just like Kellen Moore too, because Eagles are going to lose next week. Now is he going to take? Would he be a candidate for the Dallas job if you'd want to leave as well?
Who is the other McConkey?
Phil.
That's what Grok tells me. No,
Okay.
they're not related. So Rome had a pretty decent rookie year, though. He's like 6 overall. I think did he end up with more than 730? I thought he had like 800 yards, but
That's a hell of a rookie class there. Any rookie that gets over, there's not many rookies that get over 1,000 yards their first season.
he got 4 of them this year. Well,
Right.
3 of them plus the tight end.
Tight end, and tight end's even more impressive to me, really.
I think one of the guys. I mean, McConkey had impact. Thomas Jr. obviously had impact, but the guy who had the most impact on this list, Kean Coleman. He's number 8 on the list, and that's just because he came up with big plays for Buffalo, and is still coming up with big plays for them in the playoffs.
And
yeah, Xavier Worthy.
Leggett too blew that game against the Sheagles. He caught that, dropped that ball in the end zone, would have won the game. But who the fuck is bringing that up? Douchebags.
So Rome. I mean, that's not a bad rookie year for Rome.
No.
I'm happy with it. Oh, Mike said because he can't speak, he has to type all the fact. Oh, here, I'll just tell you. I'll show you.
Ooh, he's telling you all the stats are correct. Ooh,
I know
you're going to be grounded next show, man. Ooh.
How dare I question the stats of producer Mike?
I just don't want to interrupt the two fellas with no opinion. The people with opinions are in the comments.
Fucking Mike. Oh, you got to love you.
You got to love you. But he's not wrong. I mean, we are two guys without an opinion. Broski has an opinion. And now Broski and Yoli are getting to know each other.
Hands off, Broski. Hands off.
I mean, I don't want to talk about the draft yet. Way too early until we figure out a coach. I can
tell you one thing. I could tell you one thing about the draft. Bears better pick with their number 1 pick, the best offensive lineman available. Kelvin Banks. Let's go.
You look at the screen right now, Woody.
Go ahead and see. Yep, there you go, Mike. Thank you.
No, he threw up the 2025.
Think alike, right? You
absolutely,
said the best, right?
Absolutely. Can you bring that slide on before? I didn't see that one. Hey, you could put Detroit up there yet. They don't have a win yet either.
They'll be on the couch Saturday afternoon.
I know they can't, because then Washington goes to the Sheagles.
That's fine. You'll love that because of the Daniels lovage.
Oh man, I'll bring that up again.
See as we're going there, I got one for you, Woody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in the year 2025?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously not the season 24.
Shut up, Mike.
And now you can put the Vikings are 0-2 this.
Put your mic on mute, Mike. Okay, if you're gonna have your opinion, look at him.
I'll put it in the comments. My fault.
Yes, Broski, me and you think alike there, man. We need them to lose. Yes. Fuck them. And the Bears play in Philly next year, so I'll be at that game. Last time I went down to see that game, the Sheagles won 55-10 on Sunday night. So I'm pretty excited.
Hey, you need to get with Bear Mysterio before you go to that game.
What's that?
Well, you need to talk to Bear Mysterio, because as much smack as you talk about Philly, you might want to get one of his masks to wear the game.
Oh, no, I'm good. Bears will win in Philly. Yep, absolutely. Mike, you can
look. We don't even know what the team looks like. We're already predicting it.
Yeah, Mike, you can take your mic on mute now. That's good. You made a good comment. Yeah, I hear it.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
No, I am from Jersey. I was born in Rockaway, New Jersey. That's North Jersey. But now I live in the Allentown Lehigh Valley area in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Broski, you're out that way, aren't you?
I think he said he moved, didn't he?
I can't keep track of Broski.
I think Broski said he moved because I said we got to go meet up or something. I think he's in the Carolina or something.
I remember Man Cave. He lives in Indy, but is a Chiefs fan. Oh, he's in Charlotte. That's what it was. Charlotte. Yeah.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, hey, a very important question to Broski. Geno's or Pat's? Watch. He's going to say Geno's. Watch. He's going to say Geno's, 100%. He's going to say it.
You're going to make him call out the shot on air, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Pat's or Geno's? Oh, man.
You know what? I went to both as well, and I was like, okay, what's the other? There's a third one that's pretty famous too.
Yeah.
I went there. They were the better one. I've been to Geno's. I've been to Pat's. They were both okay. I mean, I enjoyed them, but Teaneck, New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I used to go to Wing Bowl too. It was the Friday before the Super Bowl every year down in Wells Fargo. It was a hell of a party down there. Wing Bowl.
Yeah, well, you guys know I'll be cold. I'll just go to the beach and sit by the palm tree tomorrow.
Yeah, and hopefully they don't get hit by a hurricane or something.
Nah, it's not hurricane season right now. That season's over. Thank goodness. Survived another one.
Another one.
But
geez, 38 tornadoes touched down that last storm? Holy shit.
Yeah, those missed me completely. My part of the state didn't get it this year, but we hear Cat 1, that just means it's a party. Cat 2, you party just a little more responsibly. Cat 3, you start to look at the index. Is Waffle House staying open or is it closing? And if Waffle House ever closes and boards its windows, that means get the hell out of Dodge. Oh, I was waiting for this. I knew she'd.
And Yoli, the answer to that question is that we're still waiting for our House Hall Report T-shirts.
No, jerseys. Remember jerseys? There were going to be jerseys, remember?
Jerseys,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Yoli, we're in line with you, Mike. JB should have his show on right after us on the Huddle Sports Network. Yes, he should be on tonight. So they can all pontificate on how great their Detroit Lions are going to be. As we all hope they kind of lose. That is sad, though, Woody. We sent 3 teams to the playoffs. 2 go out in the first weekend.
Yep.
If all 3 go out, here's the question: if all 3 go out, can we just take this whole best division in football argument and trash it?
I don't know, but Minnesota was the first 14-win wild card team to lose first round ever. Wow.
And they were the last 13-win wild card team to lose.
Yeah, I know.
Yoli says maybe next week I can come on the show. We might be able to make that happen, Yoli.
Wow, we've been hearing that for years.
Yeah, I
won't see that. It's like Sarah with her camera on.
Yeah, Sarah will come on just without a camera. Yeah.
Broski, you like hockey too?
Oh, geez.
Here we go.
Well, actually, I've been to a Carolina Hurricanes game. It was fun. It was fun. The old Hartford Whalers now down in Carolina. That was actually a fun game I went to. But that's up in Raleigh, so that's not really close to where he's at.
Next Wednesday.
Oh, there you go. Look it. We are confirming Yoli to be on the show next Wednesday night. Uh-oh.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll have who do you think going to the Super Bowl? Ooh, good question.
Detroit Buffalo. I think Raiders are going to choke again.
I'm on Buffalo. Oh, they're the week. Look at it, the matchups. All right, let's do matchups. I mean, I like Buffalo just to win the AFC. I think this week, obviously, Buffalo wins, and then you're going to get a rematch in Arrowhead, and Allen's going to slay the dragon at Arrowhead after he claims the MVP award. You know what? The Rams are hot right now.
Yep, it's usually the hottest wild card team going in, but
And DC is hot. If they were to meet in an NFC Championship game, where would that game be? Who's the higher seed? Is it DC or is it the Rams?
it's the DC's higher.
No, wait a minute. No, it's the Rams. The Rams are a division winner.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Detroit's playing the lowest seed. Yep, be in LA. Well,
Wow.
now with the Flyers, you think it'll be in Arizona?
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I have to say, Arizona did a hell of a great job of putting that stadium together, though, for LA.
Yep. Is Kansas City in the Super Bowl? No. We won't know until a couple of weeks.
I'm going to go Rams.
Penguins
I'm going to go with
flying.
the Rams. I'm going to say, I just have a weird gut feeling. Rams, Bills win.
We'll save the best for last, Woody.
Yep, go ahead.
All right,
Jesus
I say
Christ.
Washington and Ravens.
Woo!
Ooh, spicy.
Wow.
Yeah. That is, Robert brings up an interesting point there. I don't think voting's happened yet for MVP. Usually, I thought it happened right at the end of the season, but now they're saying these guys haven't voted yet for MVP. So the winner of this game this weekend could determine who wins the MVP race.
Right.
But
tough.
Washington, you said Washington and Baltimore, Mike? Who do you have winning that game between Washington and Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Sonia's got, the name of her show is...
Woody is right. That's the name of her show.
What was it, Female Perspective on Football or something like that?
All
I can't remember.
perspectives.
There we go. Yeah. She's on right now, I think. But not on the network. She's just on Facebook right now.
Yeah, it's prim and proper. You can follow
That's it,
her on
prim and
Facebook.
proper.
Wow, that describes me.
You're prim and proper?
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus. Well, there you heard you've heard
call me
several
that.
lies today, guys. There's one of them. Broski's giving us his resume why he won't get arrested in Allentown.
I went to college and played some football with current Allentown police chief. Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, don't forget, we are on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. like you're watching right now. Sunday morning, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. These are Central Time. You can catch us here on Facebook, YouTube, Roku Sports, Roku, Fire TV, X, Northeast Streaming Network on Sundays only, Huddle Sports Network on both days. Yeah, he hasn't put X on there, but we're at X at Ken the Bear Fan, which is underneath my name when he takes that down. It's KENDA Bear Fan. You can catch us there on X as well. And pretty soon, if they ever get it working on XTV, because it'll go right from my feed into XTV. So make sure you catch us there. Don't forget our other shows. We got JV's Roundtable coming up next with his pick'ems. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central, Monday through Friday, actually, we have Ken and Ken in the morning. We're back Sunday. Friday night, you've got Frozen Tundra at 7 p.m. You've got open mic night at 7 p.m. as well. Plus the Vikings are 3 p.m. and then again at 8 p.m. And then that second show turns into an open mic after 9 p.m. And you got the Red Zone Rant that's on right before us. And we've got about not even 10 seconds left. Thank you, Woody. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Broski. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Yoli. And everyone who was in the comments today. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you on Sunday. Enjoy and stay warm. Bear down.
Eagles suck. Eagles suck.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Halas Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows. This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can